And then I must come to this, the most celebrated issue, the most talked about issue of the severance pay of Rajiv Bansal. It must have consumed a phenomenal amount of newsprint in the last several months. But let me say that I think all that I've heard, all that we have listened to, read, we certainly think that there is a lot of validity. And I'll come to that as to why I think so. Validity in all the observations made. The founders have made observations, they've given their comments, and I respect these comments. If you look at both the data points and the process and application of mind on that, the severance pay that was agreed to be paid at the time that he separated from us was 17.38 crores. That is a data point. What is actually paid was 5 point something. And that is because that this was stopped with effect from April 2016, suspended, and the reasons for that were explained. These are two data points. What are the processes in this? In determining the severance pay that was paid in October 15, at that time, we explained the circumstances in which we had a mutual agreement for his separation. And at that time, there was a business judgment. There was an application of mind by the board. And this was agreed to be paid. In retrospect, in looking behind, I have no hesitation in saying that perhaps that judgment would have been different if circumstances were different or if the processes had been there. And what was the process that I thought was not, or we thought was not in place? And the process gap was that we had subjectivity in determining the severance amount. It was a judgment. The management made some judgment about this, and the board thought that the judgment was right. But it would serve everybody's interest better if the subjectivity was taken out and we had a more, shall I say, certain package available as a part of the employment contract. So the learning from that was that the subjectivity element should be taken away. And then we went on to a process change by which we looked at, through a consultant, what is the severance payable for various geographies, for different types of, different levels of executive positions. And then we benchmarked that, and then we wrote new employment contracts as a part of a revision that we did for all our key management personnel. And therefore, I could say that given the fact, the fact is that the perception was that there was no application of mind. There was an application of mind, there was a subjective element, and clearly that we should not have that level of subjectivity, in that our judgment should not be in question later on, and therefore having learned from that, we made this correction, so no longer will it be subjective. It has already been a part of the employment contract, and when we made the revision for our key managerial personnel in October 2016. So that was not something where I believe that there was a governance issue. Business judgments could be wrong, could be right, perception could be different. We accepted that. But what is most important is this issue relating to this suspicion that this was hush money, and that was deeply disturbing. We had a whistleblower complaint, which is an anonymous whistleblower complaint, which suggested that there could be some kind of silence money paid to Rajiv, and that was the reason why this was so high.